When someone looks closely at Antigua and Barbuda beyond the bright postcards and glossy magazine covers, what they find is a calm and genuine rhythm of daily life shaped by its people, traditions, and small communities that have learned to live simply in one of the Caribbean's most naturally gifted environments. The local side of the country moves at an honest pace, with towns like St. John's blending old market scenes and colorful street corners where small vendors sell fresh produce and handmade goods without the rush of large commercial centers. Travelers who come looking for authentic experiences often walk these same streets, tasting local fruits from roadside stands and talking with residents who are proud to share their island story in a way that feels natural and unplanned. Across the countryside, small houses line narrow roads, painted in bright colors that reflect the Caribbean identity yet remain grounded in simplicity rather than luxury. Visitors can easily spend time in areas like Liberta, Bolans, or Porum, where the real character of the island appears not through resorts but through community gatherings, small shops, and weekend activities that define local life. It is a side of Antigua and Barbuda where the value is not in expense but in connection, and where daily moments feel honest because nothing is designed for show. Local food plays a central role in how people experience the everyday charm of Antigua and Barbuda, offering dishes that connect the island's African, British, and Caribbean influences through simple but satisfying ingredients. In small eateries or roadside kitchens, travelers can try pepperpot, ducana, saltfish, and fungi, meals that tell stories of history and adaptation rather than luxury or modern presentation. Many visitors quickly realize that the best meals are often not found in fine dining settings but in small family-run restaurants or markets where the cooking reflects generations of passed-down recipes. Street food culture is alive in towns and near beaches where vendors prepare grilled fish or chicken over open flames while music plays softly in the background. Eating in Antigua and Barbuda, especially on a budget, is less about indulgence and more about connection, where the food carries the warmth of community and the unspoken pride of people who cook not for show but for satisfaction. These meals form a bridge between the visitor and the culture, reminding them that authenticity can be both simple and rich at the same time. The local beaches of Antigua and Barbuda differ from the private coves and resort-managed stretches that dominate brochures. They feel open, public, and shared by everyone without separation. On weekends, local families gather along calm spots like Fort James Beach or Half Moon Bay, setting up umbrellas, coolers, and music players as children play in the shallow blue water. These beaches are not marked by exclusivity but by community presence, where laughter and conversation mix with the sound of waves in a relaxed setting. Travelers who visit on a budget find these spaces particularly rewarding because they represent the country's real social life, where locals and visitors meet naturally rather than through scheduled tours. Even the smaller beaches around villages or near fishing docks hold a sense of ownership among residents, showing how the sea is not a tourist attraction but a normal part of life. The sand may not always be lined with beach chairs or drinks served from a bar, but the experience feels complete because of its honesty and accessibility. Inland, the countryside of Antigua and Barbuda offers a quieter perspective of the islands, where the rhythm of rural living defines a way of life that has changed little over time. Small farms stretch across rolling green areas, where crops like pineapples, sweet potatoes, and yams grow in family-owned plots that supply both local markets and restaurants. Traveling through these regions, one can see people working the fields early in the morning, often using traditional methods that reflect deep respect for the land rather than reliance on modern machinery. The roads are narrow, often winding through hilly terrain, with views of small churches and community centers that serve as gathering points. Tourists exploring these areas often find comfort in their simplicity, enjoying how natural scenery and human life blend without much interruption from commercial activity. The countryside shows another face of Antigua and Barbuda that feels rooted, stable, and quietly beautiful without the need for embellishment. Transportation around Antigua and Barbuda also reflects the local side of the country, where minibuses, taxis, and shared rides replace the luxury vehicles found in private resorts. Public buses move between major points like St. John's, English Harbour, and rural villages at low fares, offering an experience that connects travelers directly with residents. These rides, often filled with music and conversation, create a sense of immersion that goes beyond sightseeing because one becomes part of the everyday flow. For visitors exploring on a budget, this form of movement is practical and engaging, giving access to corners of the island that might be overlooked by standard tours. Walking through neighborhoods or renting bicycles also opens up another level of interaction with the landscape and people. The transportation system may not be perfect or fast, but it carries the rhythm of real life, moving at a pace that matches the island's calm nature. Local art and craft markets in Antigua and Barbuda are strong reflections of cultural identity, showcasing handmade products that represent skill, history, and creativity in equal measure. From wood carvings and woven baskets to locally made jewelry and paintings, each piece holds meaning that extends beyond decoration. Many of these markets operate in small spaces around St. John's or near cruise ports, where artists sell directly to visitors without intermediaries. Travelers who take time to speak with them learn about the inspiration behind each craft, often linked to daily life, nature, or family heritage. Supporting these artists becomes more than a transaction, it becomes a connection between cultures. In this way, art acts as a bridge between the local community and the global visitor, offering insight into how creativity thrives even without corporate influence or large-scale promotion. The authenticity of these creations gives travelers something real to take home, not just as souvenirs but as memories of genuine interaction. The social life of local communities in Antigua and Barbuda carries a warmth that naturally includes visitors without pretense or expectation. Small bars, community centers, and open-air music events form the heart of social gatherings, where reggae, soca, and calypso blend into the evening atmosphere. On weekends, local residents enjoy live bands and small parties that don't aim to impress but to unite people in a shared sense of joy. Tourists who join these gatherings often find that they experience more of the island's character here than anywhere else. It's a culture built on friendliness, storytelling, and shared enjoyment rather than exclusivity. The interactions feel honest because there's no marketing behind them, just people living as they normally do. For anyone seeking a deeper connection, this side of the country offers exactly that, a feeling of being welcomed without having to belong to any particular group. Exploring Antigua's capital, St. John's, reveals how the local and commercial sides mix naturally in one setting. The city's waterfront is busy with activity, from ferry docks to the colorful stalls of Heritage Quay and the lively public market where vendors sell fruits, vegetables, and handmade items. Visitors walking through this area witness the energy of daily business, where small-scale trade keeps the economy moving as much as tourism does. The streets are lined with modest shops, local food spots, and clothing stores that cater to both residents and travelers. Though not designed to impress with luxury, St. John's carries a sense of purpose and pride, showing how people adapt and sustain themselves within limited space and resources. This part of the island's life remains essential to understanding its character because it displays resilience and practicality alongside friendliness and openness. Barbuda, the smaller of the two islands, reflects an even simpler and more traditional lifestyle that adds to the country's diversity. With a population of only a few thousand, it feels removed from the busy pace of Antigua, focusing instead on fishing, small-scale farming, and local gatherings. The village of Codrington serves as the main hub, where residents know each other personally and where visitors quickly feel part of a close-knit environment. Travelers can walk to the beaches, explore the bird sanctuary, or speak with locals about how life continues after challenges like hurricanes, learning that community strength is the foundation of their resilience. Barbuda's charm lies in its openness. There are fewer commercial structures and more natural landscapes, giving a rare glimpse of Caribbean life untouched by overdevelopment. For travelers seeking peace and authenticity, this side of the nation offers unmatched simplicity. The local festivals and cultural events of Antigua and Barbuda are another layer of the country's social identity, where music, dance, and traditional celebrations express pride and continuity. Beyond the well-known carnival, smaller village events and weekend performances bring people together in both casual and formal ways. Local schools and community groups organize gatherings that showcase folk dances, steel pan music, and storytelling traditions that have survived for generations. These experiences show the cultural depth of the island without the need for expensive settings or grand production. Travelers attending such events find themselves immersed in rhythms and customs that have real meaning, reflecting the connection between heritage and daily life. It is this consistency in tradition that keeps the local side of Antigua and Barbuda genuine and alive. Antigua and Barbuda's weather also plays a role in shaping the country's local experience, as residents adapt their routines to the steady tropical climate marked by warm temperatures and sea breezes. The predictability of the weather allows outdoor life to thrive, with community sports, fishing, and small market gatherings taking place year-round. Visitors often comment on how the daily schedule seems naturally adjust to sunlight and temperature, with early mornings and late afternoons being the most active times. This natural adaptation contributes to the calm pace of life, showing that the country's comfort does not depend on artificial luxury but on harmony with its environment. Even during short rainy periods, the atmosphere remains relaxed, and the community continues with its rhythm, emphasizing how lifestyle here is guided by consistency rather than rush. Public spaces in Antigua and Barbuda are places of real interaction where people meet casually and share time without formality or excess. From local playgrounds to community parks, these environments are used daily by residents who value outdoor connection. Tourists exploring such spaces often encounter friendly greetings and conversations that break the barrier between visitor and local without effort. The atmosphere is inclusive and safe, reflecting a community approach that values openness and respect. For those traveling on a budget, these experiences become valuable because they cost nothing yet offer insight into how daily life functions away from luxury. The simplicity of spending time in these shared areas reveals that Antigua and Barbuda's charm extends beyond material wealth. It's present in human connection and relaxed coexistence. The natural landscapes outside urban areas show the country's environmental diversity, from mangroves and forests to rolling hills and clear coastal waters. Hiking trails like those around Shirley Heights or the coastal paths near English Harbour attract locals and visitors alike who enjoy open-air exploration without needing professional tours. These trails provide both physical activity and scenic understanding of the island's layout, showing how small distances can contain so much variety. While the resorts promote private excursions, the public paths remain free and equally rewarding, proving that natural beauty here is accessible to everyone. The government and local groups also emphasize conservation, balancing tourism with protection of ecosystems that support daily livelihoods. For budget travelers, this kind of access makes the country appealing because it allows genuine discovery without financial strain. Sports and recreation also play a big part in the local lifestyle, especially cricket, which is deeply rooted in the nation's cultural identity. Matches attract both passionate fans and casual observers, often turning small fields into community centers of excitement. Beyond cricket, football and sailing are popular at amateur levels, supported by local clubs and schools. Visitors can join informal games or attend local matches to experience this side of social life firsthand. These activities reinforce the spirit of unity that defines Antigua and Barbuda's population, a shared enthusiasm that crosses background and age. It's another sign that while the country holds wealth, its true value still lies in community engagement and active participation in simple joys. For those who travel independently, budget accommodation options such as guest houses, small inns, and homestays offer a closer look at how residents live. These places often lack the glamour of luxury resorts but provide something more personal, interaction with hosts who share advice, stories, and home-cooked meals. The rooms are modest but clean, and the surroundings often give direct access to neighborhoods, beaches, and markets that reflect the local way of life. Many visitors find that this style of stay leaves stronger memories because it replaces comfort with connection. It also supports small businesses rather than large corporations, ensuring that tourism benefits the community directly. For travelers who want to experience Antigua and Barbuda responsibly, this approach aligns perfectly with sustainability and authenticity. Finally, the local side of Antigua and Barbuda leaves an impression of balance, a country that does not depend solely on wealth or luxury to define its beauty. The charm lies in its accessibility, the friendliness of its people, and the way life unfolds without performance or pretense. From the open markets of St. John's to the quiet beaches shared by families, from the traditional meals served on street corners to the community festivals that light up the evenings, this side of the nation proves that genuine travel experiences often come from simplicity. It forms the foundation that supports the luxurious image known abroad, giving depth to the country's identity. Anyone who takes the time to explore this part first will understand that Antigua and Barbuda's strength lies equally in its local heartbeat as in its luxury. Antigua and Barbuda has long built a reputation as one of the wealthiest countries in the Caribbean, ranking among the top 5 richest economies in the region, a fact supported by its strong tourism sector, offshore financial services, and high-end real estate market that attracts global investors seeking privacy and comfort. The luxury side of this twin-island nation presents an environment where sophistication is expressed through space, exclusivity,